Sonic has got to be one of the most iconic franchises in game history, and because of his famous status, it seems that he deserves a few reviews. So why not start off with the game that started it all, Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic 1 is often seen as underwhelming and bad by reviews today, but it's not fair to compare it to its sequels. It's clear that the next games in the Sonic series are far superior, but that doesn't mean Sonic 1 is bad. Sonic 1 has some phenomenal base gameplay, jumping around, running quickly, solving puzzles, and fighting bosses. It's simple, but was innovative for the time and still stands as very fun and unique today. The first world, Green Hill Zone, shows this off perfectly and is certainly one of the greatest, most iconic levels in a platformer. Many say that it's where the game peaked, which is true honestly. The level design is open, but not confusing. Many mechanics are mixed together, and the enemies are placed in great spots. It's a masterclass in platforming design, but is then followed up by Marble Garden Zone, which gets a ton of hate because of slowing down the gameplay, which is really one of the game's biggest issues. But I find the zone itself very fun. The puzzles and more linear areas may feel odd, but they're integrated into the regular gameplay very well, so I would say this is a solid world. These two zones prove that with solid mechanics, unique gameplay, fun platforming, phenomenal graphics and music, that Sonic 1 may just be a masterpiece of the 16-bit era. Spring Yard Zone is also very fun, though slightly frustrating when it decides to become more narrow. When this is open and free, it is incredibly fun and vibrant, but when going through tight corridors, it feels unnecessary and unfair. So far, the game is phenomenal with a few cheap traps and deaths, but overall solid design. Wait, why do I hear boss music? The bane of my existence, Labyrinth Zone. This is possibly one of the worst levels in a platformer I've ever played. There are games like Enter the Dragonfly which are so bad I can't even consider them proper platformers. But with how enjoyable Sonic 1 is overall, I'd have to consider this bottom of the barrel trash. The design is sprawling, and while that mostly makes for fun and interesting design in Stage 1, the other two are ruined by how confusing it becomes, and by the slow movement, annoying jumps, awful slowdown, and underwater breath mechanics. I absolutely despise it, and once it's over, we are luckily rewarded with one of the best parts of the game. Starlight Zone may have a few cheap pitfalls, but the number of interesting and fluid mechanics it introduces is very impressive. Scrap Brain Zone is good in the same way, a bit slower and more frustrating, but overall very fun, and it introduces tons of unique new ideas to the game. Final Zone is a decent boss battle that ends us off, and looking back is probably the best fight in the game. With Starlight, Spring Yard, and Green Hill being some amazing levels, Final, Scrap Brain, and Marble Garden being pretty good, and only one awful world, the quality of the original Sonic is overall quite high. Like I said, it's nowhere near its sequels, but by itself has some great mechanics, fun bosses, and one of my favorite special stages, along with some amazing songs. It's a Genesis classic, and though not perfect, it's very enjoyable and fun. 3.5 out of 5 Ballardians.